Imagine absolute silence at a depth of several thousand meters. In a place where sunlight ceased to exist millions of years ago, cold and colossal pressure reign. In 2019, during a scheduled inspection of deep-sea communication cables, a team of engineers encountered a phenomenon that fits into no existing model of modern geology. They expected to see the familiar landscape of silt and rocks. But what unfolded before their eyes was a scene that made the blood run cold. The ocean floor appeared as if a gigantic plow of unknown scale had passed over it. From deep fissures came a low, rhythmic hum, a sound reminiscent of the heavy breathing of something immense and alive, awakening beneath the Earth's crust. The authorities of leading nations immediately classified all reports from that expedition. We were officially told that these were merely echoes of seismic activity. But that was only a half-truth. One of the oceanographers involved in analyzing the data later revealed anonymously, the seabed is not merely settling. It is literally collapsing into gigantic, previously unknown voids. We are used to thinking of land as something immutable, but this is a dangerous illusion. The planet has begun the process of reclaiming territories back into its depths. And this process is proceeding at a frightening pace. Today, we will reveal a list of 6 countries officially recognized as doomed, places that will vanish from the face of the Earth in the coming decades. And we begin with a corner often called a paradise on Earth, unaware that beneath its white sands, the gates to the abyss have already opened. Before we continue, make sure to hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, and don't forget to turn on the notification bell. Incredible stories are ahead, you definitely don't want to miss them. The Maldives. The jewel of the Indian Ocean, a chain of 26 magnificent atolls. Billionaires and celebrities spend fortunes here, basking in serenity. But behind the facade of palms and azure waters lies a geophysical nightmare. It is the lowest-lying country on the planet. The average land elevation here is only 1.5 meters above sea level. Imagine this, the ocean is already up to this nation's chest. Every storm today is not just bad weather, but a rehearsal for the finale, washing away infrastructure and any hope for the future. Official science blames global warming and melting glaciers. The forecasts are relentless. By 2030, most of the islands will become uninhabitable. Saltwater is seeping into the soil, turning fertile land into a dead desert and fresh water sources into poison. The Maldivian government is already in a state of covert panic, negotiating the purchase of territory in India and Australia. The nation is being prepared for the status of eternal refugees. But if we look beyond the official reports, the picture becomes even more sinister. Scanners from oil companies conducting seismic surveys in the region recorded an anomaly. The Earth's crust beneath the Maldives is behaving like rotting wood. The tectonic plate is sinking under its own weight. It creates the impression that an invisible, colossal vortex has opened beneath the archipelago, greedily devouring sand and stone. This is not merely rising water, it is the planet itself actively consuming the land. Local elders, whose knowledge reaches back through centuries, whisper legends that scientists long ignored. They say these islands are not coral formations, but the peaks of ancient, antediluvian structures. Old tales speak of temples of the Atlanteans, sent to the depths as punishment for human arrogance. Priests of the past supposedly sealed gateways to the underworld with these constructions. Now, as humanity disturbs the Earth's depths with endless drilling, the magical seals have weakened. Night divers are increasingly reporting strange, massive shadows rising from the abyss. These are not whales, and not sharks. It is something dark, reacting to the vibrations of our technology. The abyss has grown hungry, and it intends to take back what rightfully belongs to it. But if here the ground is simply treacherously slipping away beneath our feet, then at the next point on our list, nature is quite literally going insane, breaking every known law of physics. While the Maldives are slowly sinking into the depths, in the central Pacific Ocean a scenario is unfolding that many researchers call a glitch in the matrix. The nation of Kiribati, 33 coral islands scattered across the ocean, has long since earned the unofficial status of a cursed territory. 2 islands from this archipelago have already been completely erased from the face of the earth. They did not simply sink, they vanished, leaving behind not even shallow sandbanks. The country's authorities are desperately pleading with the international community to recognize their people as the first climate refugees. But behind the official facade of sea level rise lie details that genuinely unsettle local fishermen. Fishermen say that before major tides, the abyss beneath them begins to emit a toxic green glow. It does not resemble familiar bioluminescent plankton. The light feels mechanical, pulsing, as if a gigantic reactor were operating on the ocean floor. Those who stared into this glowing abyss for too long speak of a strange clouding of the mind and an irresistible urge to step overboard. But the most terrifying reports concern gravitational anomalies recorded by military vessels in this sector. Here, the water sometimes rises into a towering wall even in complete calm, hanging motionless in the air in defiance of all known laws of physics. A roar, reminiscent of metal grinding against metal, echoes from the depths, as if some colossal mechanism is trying to turn the planet's rusted gears. Enthusiasts of cosmic mysteries draw parallels with the Bermuda Triangle, claiming that Kiribati lies at a nexus of the Earth's most powerful energy framework, which has suddenly become active. The islands are not merely sinking, they seem to be erased from our dimension. Fishermen find their nets torn apart by some enormous claws, and people who vanish from the beaches leave no traces behind. Perhaps the world will soon witness a nation that does not evacuate, but simply dissolves into thin air, leaving behind nothing but an empty horizon. Many believe the threat concerns only remote and impoverished corners of the planet. But this is a misconception. We move to prosperous Europe, to the Netherlands, a country that for centuries has waged a successful war against the ocean, turning hydraulic engineering into true magic of concrete and steel. Nearly half of the country's territory lies below sea level. The pride of Dutch engineers, the Delta Works project, is considered the 8th wonder of the world. The gigantic steel petals of the Maaslantering barrier, each the size of the Eiffel Tower, are designed to protect Rotterdam from any storm. We are assured that this protection is to last for 10,000 years. But the reality, hidden from the eyes of taxpayers, tells a different story. Over the past 3 years, the ground beneath northern Europe has begun to vibrate. These are not earthquakes, but a barely perceptible infrasonic tremor rising from the deepest ancient strata. This resonance is destroying the ultra-strong concrete of the dams at a molecular level, covering it with a network of invisible microcracks. A terrifying process of soil liquefaction is underway. Solid ground turns into a quivering slurry, incapable of supporting foundations. In the provinces of Groningen and Limburg, houses begin to sink silently, and the earth opens its jaws, swallowing cars and trees. In private conversations, geologists admit that the ancient piles on which Amsterdam and Rotterdam stand are rotting at an unnatural rate, as if the earth itself is rejecting these cities. Local legends of the water wolf, a mythical creature embodying the insatiable hunger of the sea, are taking on new meaning. For centuries, the Dutch have been stealing land from the ocean. But history remembers the year 1421, when the sea swallowed 72 villages in a single night. Chronicles describe that water as a living black entity that howled and moved against the wind. Today, dam workers are anonymously reporting strange malfunctions. Sensors are recording phantom waves, up to 30 meters high that do not exist on the surface. The steel gates of the lock sometimes begin to tremble, as if something gigantic is trying to break them open from the outside. The water confined within the canals has accumulated rage. And when Hour X arrives, the blow will not come from the sea. The water will burst directly from beneath the ground, tearing apart asphalt, and the dams will prove to be useless walls that were simply bypassed from the rear. This will not be a flood, but the instant elimination of the system error that humanity has become for the planet. But if in Europe the elements act coldly and methodically, then at the next point on our list the water initiates a process that can only be described as a biological nightmare. Mud that has gained consciousness, and people turning into something else. Unlike technologically advanced Europe, Bangladesh is one of the most densely populated and vulnerable places on the planet. Here, in the delta of great rivers, annual floods are considered normal. But in recent years, anomalies have been recorded that cannot be explained by simple climate change. Researchers of Cosmic Mysteries believe that a process of forced terraforming has been initiated here. Let us begin with Chittagong, the largest ship graveyard in the world. Thousands of workers dismantle steel giants here, standing waist-deep in black silt. But reports from the past 2 years are shocking. The mud has become hungry. It swallows multi-ton sections of ships faster than cranes can secure them. Steel simply vanishes into the abyss, and echo sounders show emptiness beneath the layer of silt, voids that should not exist. At night, a rhythmic grinding can be heard from the empty ship hulls, as if something enormous is measuring the space from within. The second zone of horror is the Sundarban's mangrove forests. The trees here are not merely dying from salt, they are mutating. A black, viscous substance oozes from their trunks, one that defies chemical analysis. But the strangest phenomenon is the behavior of the Bengal tigers. Predators that always avoided water now fall into a trance and swim out into the open sea until they drown from exhaustion. Local shamans claim they are being summoned by the Master of the Depths, awakened on the floor of the Bay of Bengal. Doctors in coastal villages are recording outbreaks of water fever. In those affected, body temperature drops, the skin turns gray and damp, and the lungs gradually fill with black mucus. This is not a virus. It is a restructuring of the body for a different habitat. Satellites show that river channels in the delta are changing not chaotically, they are forming a precise geometric pattern resembling a gigantic seal. As if water were a scalpel in the hands of an invisible surgeon, preparing the planet for the return of the Nagas, ancient beings from Vedic texts, laying claim to this land. On the other side of the world, in Polynesia, the tiny nation of Tuvalu has faced a threat that forced the government to take an unprecedented step. They announced the creation of a complete digital replica of the country in the metaverse. Every tree, every house, and every ritual is being digitized so that the nation may live forever, after the islands disappear beneath the water. Officially, it is presented as a beautiful project to preserve culture. But experts in esotericism and transhumanism see something else: the construction of the first digital cemetery in history. There are classified reports from the corporations overseeing the project that hint at experiments in transferring consciousness. Tuvalu is turning into a testing ground where living people are being prepared to become digital ghosts, trapped in code with no right to rebirth. However, the physical world around Tuvalu conceals an even more tangible threat. In 2022, a Japanese research submersible detected something in the area of the archipelago that was immediately classified. At a depth of 2 kilometers, hydroacoustic sensors picked up a mechanical pounding, resembling the operation of a colossal piston. The final frame before communication was lost showed a perfectly smooth wall of black obsidian stretching into infinity. Ufologists put forward a theory: Tuvalu is not just a group of islands, but antennas of ancient bases hidden beneath the ocean floor. Changes in magnetic poles and water pressure are causing these objects to awaken. Residents often see silent lights rising from beneath the water and heading into space. The evacuation of people is merely a way to remove unnecessary witnesses before the planet's true owners lay claim to their rights. When the waters close over Tuvalu, a story will begin in which humanity no longer has a place. But if on distant islands everything unfolds in secrecy, then our final destination is the pulsating heart of the East, a megacity that is right now turning into an underwater crypt, where ancient prophecies collide with modern concrete. We conclude our journey in the pulsating heart of Thailand, Bangkok. The City of Angels, as locals call it, is in reality at risk of becoming a cursed city of the drowned. Built on the soft silty soils of the Chao Phraya River Delta, this megacity is sinking faster than any other city in the world, by up to 10 centimeters per year. The heavy concrete of thousands of skyscrapers presses down on the unstable clay, and the pumping of groundwater creates voids underground that nature hastens to fill. But those who study the mysteries of the universe know that physics here is merely a consequence of metaphysics. The air in Bangkok has changed. It has become heavy, saturated with the smell of ancient silt and a sweetish scent of decay that neither exhaust fumes nor street food can conceal. The water in the Klong canals takes on an unnatural emerald hue and seems sentient. Old monks from forest monasteries warn, when the water reaches the spires of the main temples, the age of humans will end, and the era of the Asuras will begin, vengeful entities whose domains were unlawfully occupied by humankind. Special attention from researchers is focused on Suvarnabhumi International Airport. It was built on a site that for centuries was known as the Swamp of Cobra Graves. During construction, artifacts and bones were found here, which workers hastily poured over with concrete. This led to a series of frightening events, culminating in an official exorcism ritual in 2006, when 99 monks attempted to appease the anger of the spirits of the land. But judging by the fact that the runways continue to develop strange cracks from which black sludge seeps, the ritual merely postponed the inevitable. Another anomaly is the Ghost Tower, Sathorn Unique. An unfinished skyscraper that has become a magnet for suicides, it is believed by experts in sacred geomancy to function like a gigantic needle piercing the Earth's energetic body. The clay beneath the city pulsates and breathes, and at night the sound of claws scraping can be heard from the sewers. Legends of the Nagas, serpentine deities, the true owners of this land, are taking on terrifying substance. Bangkok is not merely subsiding. It is being sacrificed, repaying a debt to ancient forces that have waited for their moment for centuries. Looking at the political map of the world, we naively believe in the permanence of borders. We take out loans for decades, failing to notice how the foundation of our world is turning to dust. But the 6 countries named are only the first wave. Pay attention to the strange behavior of those who possess the true information. Why are the richest people on the planet quietly buying up land in remote regions of Altai and New Zealand? There, far from the coastlines, autonomous bunkers are being built, capable of withstanding years of isolation. The Noah's Ark of the 21st century project has already been launched, but places in it are not meant for everyone. Humanity lives in cycles, from one great flood to the next. Ancient texts confirm that water is the planet's universal tool for a general cleanup. Judging by the growing hum from the depths and the awakening of ancient anomalies, our cycle is approaching its end. Antarctica is melting not only from the sun, but also from internal heat. Someone in the planet's depths has turned on the heating, awakening what has slept for millions of years. The doomsday clock is already striking midnight. Only one question remains: who is next on this list? Perhaps your city or your home is already marked on secret maps of the future as a reclamation zone. Will we manage to grasp the rules of this new reality before the black, icy water closes over our heads? If you enjoyed our video, don't forget to give it a like, subscribe to the channel, and hit the bell so you won't miss any of our upcoming videos. There's a lot of exciting content ahead.